to be honest, I'm gonna give my rating first. So I'm gonna give it
Yes,
a
yeah, rating and
9.5
a quick
out of
review.
10. 9.5 out of 10.
9.5.
Yeah, I liked it. I really
Okay.
enjoyed it. There's a lot of like things that he says that are freaking hilarious. The fact that he said it that way.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of the two characters in the movie was pretty cool.
I think at the time I thought it was messed up on what Disney was doing. What Disney did to Jonathan Majors by dumping him after the verdict came through when he was guilty for 2 out of the 4 counts. Even though I felt like even if he was innocent, they would have still dumped him anyway, just because of how the fans received Kang. Not saying that he is not a phenomenal actor and he wasn't acting his and basically saved that Quantum Mania movie, because without him, that movie is garbage. I cannot lie to you.
Like, we don't want it to just be like one of those like it's just a hype moment, or like you're trying to win us over just from, you know, throwing Robert Downey Jr. in it. Like, do it well, make it, you know, impactful and good, not just like what people complain about with No Way Home, where you're just throwing cameos in just for, you know, shock value.
What I like about this decision is that you're not tainting the Iron Man legacy, because technically Tony Stark is not coming back. It is a variant of him. Well, my assumption should be that it'll be a variant of him that will be playing Doctor Doom from another universe, because you have the Secret Wars movie coming out after that, which is when they have the big war with all the universes colliding and fighting for one universe to be the one of them all. That being said, the way I think they should do it is simple. I think what's going to end up happening is Tom Holland is going to be the focal point of the Avengers movie. And they're gonna play on the fact that the villain that they need to stop from another universe is your mentor.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Macky. Oh, yo yo. Hope you're living well. Hope you're doing right. I got my good brothers here. We got the Black Kage, the Hook Kage, aka Salt and Pepper Poppy, Crispin. We also got Badman forward, Badman pull up, a Badman forward, Badman pull up, a Badman forward, Badman pull up, a Badman pull up, a Badman pull up. Shawny in the motherfucking building. And we also have our special guest for today's podcast episode, Musa. And you are rocking with the Nerdy by Nature boys, the NBN Boys. Welcome to episode 96. Let's have a great time here. So first of all, we're going to start it off like we always do. I have a list for you guys. What I'm...
Can't stand these stupid lists, but continue.
I'm really getting tired.
Positivity here.
Yeah, please. Jesus Christ.
Musa, you don't understand, brother.
Because of everything that's happened, it's because they haven't gotten one list. Hopefully this one that they can get.
I think this one
trash.
I think this one would be a little easier to guess. There's less choices than previous ones.
The previous.
You'd be surprised.
One of them, these guys sorely messed up on, which is the Pokemon one. I don't know if I released that one yet, but anyway.
That
one. We have, because of everything that happened this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con, we have the top 10 MCU movie ranked by the fans by Ranker. So, whoever wants to start going, we can start it up.
I think a safe bet is Infinity Wars.
Infinity Wars number 1.
Black Panther, the first one.
Not on the list.
Huh?
Wait. We only get three strikes.
No, you're good.
No, you just
see what I'm saying, Musa? You see what I'm talking about?
Endgame has to be up there.
Endgame's number 2.
Of course.
I don't know
Dang,
why.
they put
Avengers.
both of them?
Avengers.
Endgame is not. Endgame was probably one of the worst MCU movies, if you ask me.
Avengers, bro.
All right, let's not. Don't even engage it. Let's keep going.
What you say, Crispin?
Avengers, the first one, the first Avengers.
Yes, that's number 3.
Dang, 3 Avengers? Ultron's
Half of
definitely
them are
not
bro.
on there.
They're
Ultron better not be on this.
Absolutely not. It's not on here.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Number 7. It's on here.
Like that. Like
Civil
that.
War is definitely.
Iron Man.
Number 4.
One.
Damn,
I don't-
this shit-
I don't mind number
Hold on. One at a time, please.
My fault.
I heard Captain America: Civil War. That's
Yeah.
number 4.
I don't mind.
Spider-Man: No Way
First-
Home.
Spider-Man: No Way Home is number 5. The first Iron Man is number 9. So you're still missing 6, 8, and 10. I'm gonna clear this list in less
pull
than
the MC,
5 minutes.
need to pull the MCU up.
Spider-Man.
There's no more Spider-Man on this list.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think any other.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which one?
One.
The one.
Correct. Number 1 is 8.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the
number
Galaxy
6?
1 is 8.
How many
Man.
we got left?
Iron Man 2.
6 and 8. No,
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is
No more-
definitely not going to be up there.
there's no more Iron Mans on here.
Oh, Thor.
Thor. Which one?
The
Ragnarok.
first one.
That's
The
one.
first one.
Ragnarok.
Which one are you picking? Because there's so many answers going out. You guys want to huddle up and
First. The first one, bro.
which one are y'all going with?
The first one, nigga.
Shawny,
first
need a
one is-
tiebreaker.
Yeah, Shawny, please.
Just go with I'll go with Ragnarok.
The first one is not on here. Ragnarok is number 6.
Okay, fuck y'all niggas, man.
I'm literally going by what I be hearing people like, right? Like people love that.
The first one is not the one. By the
Love
way.
and Thunder. Let me stop.
Ragnarok is the best Thor movie.
Let's see, Thor.
Doctor Strange.
Correct. Doctor Strange is number
There
10.
it is.
Look at that.
Really? That's
It
crazy.
is. Oh, boy.
See, y'all was
I
saying
would not
negative, we
expect
got
that.
it.
El Doctor be popping.
That was the
What's up?
fastest we ever got this list done.
Absolutely. Wow, I'm proud of you guys. All right, Shawny,
Can
let
we get
us know.
some applauses or something?
Oh
Damn,
yeah,
my
yeah,
nigga.
because y'all niggas finally got that shit.
Every time we get it wrong, it's like one more.
All right. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
Just so
Oh,
y'all know,
what
my
about
camera
the-
might die. Just to let you know, so I might have to switch to another camera. But it's all good. Keep going.
Nah, so my heart hurts because San Diego Comic-Con was this weekend. This is the first time I haven't been in the last 4 years. So yeah,
Oh,
hurts
you
my
be
soul.
traveling
But
to them?
yeah, I've been to San Diego 4 times, New York. I just went to the Edison one recently, ECC, Chicago. I try to go to a few all the time. The next one will be Anime NYC in August. But back to it. Yeah, San Diego came out. We got a lot of fucking announcements, so we're just trying to focus on the main thing. Which is ironic because Deadpool and Wolverine came out this past week, and it came out on the same Thursday, which was the quote first day of San Diego Comic-Con. We don't technically count preview night, but the first day of Comic-Con was the same night that Deadpool came out, so I wanted to start there. I know me, Musa, and Crispin saw it, but Macky did not, so we just want to get your non-spoiler opinions of the movie, and then we'll just let Macky say what he's heard about it. So we can, Crispin or Musa, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Cool. To be honest, I'm gonna give my rating first. So I'm gonna give it 9.5
rating and
out
quick
of
review.
10. 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah, I liked it. I really
Okay.
enjoyed it. There's a lot of like things that he says that are freaking hilarious. The fact that he said it that way.
Yeah.
And I think the combination of the two characters in the movie was pretty cool. So I'm gonna keep it at that.
Okay, short and sweet to the point. Musa,
Yeah.
you're up.
All right. If we're talking rating,
Out of 10. Your opinion,
Yeah.
no, you specifically. Knowing what you know and the things you
Yeah.
look for, what do you give it?
yeah, I'd give it a. Man, I want to say 9, maybe a 8.5, and not like a bad 8.5, but The main reason for that for me is I thought when you thought the movie was probably almost over, like I feel like the ending kind of dragged a little bit. I don't know. That might have just been me. I didn't read any reviews or anything but like I'm sitting there, not like I wanted the movie to end, but it felt like it was about to, but then it didn't, and then it kind of, I don't know. I feel like the last part wasn't bad. It just
was unnecessary.
Yeah, like they could have cut the movie probably by about 20 minutes or so. But what I liked about it, without giving too many spoilers, I mean, we know it's obviously a multiverse movie, so there are a lot of good cameos, obviously. Not going to spoil who's in it, who's not in it, whatever. Hilarious, of course. Deadpool's pretty much like the biggest troll character, like in comics, so there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, there's a lot of IP infringement mentioning things like that. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. There was a lot of like even heartwarming moments in it as well, and I think they did a nice, if you want to call it, transition from the Fox, studio to Disney and everything. So I think they did that justice really well. The action scenes were really good. The opening scene, perfect. The soundtrack and song choices for the movie also was very good, especially the opening scene. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know if I want to see more Deadpool in the MCU, of course, and I think we will. I don't think he needs a whole nother movie. I don't think no one else has really gotten a trilogy. I mean, more than a trilogy besides Thor, right? Like he's the only one with 4 movies.
And I think Guardians of the Galaxy got 4 movies.
They got 3. They got 3.
Yeah,
3.
3 in
I think the only one that would have a more than a trilogy would be Captain America, and that's if you don't count Falcon being the next one,
Right. Yeah. So I think they did it good and did well. So yeah, like the 8.5, I know some people may look at that like it's not as good as some other movies, but for what it was, I think they did what they needed to do well. I just think the ending kind of dragged a little bit.
Whoever's mad at that 8.5 need to get checked up. No, I'm just saying.
No, like I said, it could be a 9 too. Like I'm not,
No, I'm just saying whoever's really mad at that 8.5 though, like.
Oh yeah.
Come on, boy. It's not that.
Especially with stuff that they like.
I mean, as for me, again, I didn't watch the movie yet, but from what I've been seeing, I see that it's kind of split from the people that I spoke to and critics. For the most part, I see a lot of critics trashing it, saying that they gave up on plot to have like a good few key, good, heartfelt, funny moments where they could have explored on something important or whatever. And again, everyone I spoke to, they've all said that they loved it. It was amazing. It was a really good watch. They had fun watching it. So I don't know. I feel like I'm still gonna. I was gonna watch it regardless. But I just thought it was interesting to see that a movie that we all knew is gonna make a lot of money for Disney. I think they made already 171 million within the weekend, the 6th highest grossing weekend, like opening weekend ever.
It's at like half a bill, I think, worldwide. It's like 480 or something.
So it's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we knew that it was gonna make a lot of money, right? But to see all the critics that were telling us that it's gonna make a lot of money, to see them trash it and say that it's not as good as they would want it to be, it makes me feel like, again, I haven't watched it, but did you guys see the first 2 Deadpools and think that?
Yeah.
I'm referring to like the critics or whatever, but
I didn't think.
I mean, you can't really. The critics are the critics. Like they're not going to be looking for. That's why you always have the critics.
They're watching for something else. Yeah.
Exactly, they're watching for like plot, story. Is it going to make them feel certain things in a certain place? Like they have a strict They have a strict. They have a checklist of what they're looking for versus what your common fan is looking for. So I mean, naturally, again, like it's critics. The critic score is always going to be bad. Like unless it's like it's a superhero movie, you're never really going to get a phenomenal score from the critics on it.
Fair enough.
I think it's similar to like you would say like if someone said, "Hey, what's the best of this?" but then what's your favorite of this? A lot of times they don't align. You know, like I could say that I don't know, Dragon Ball Z is not the best. Well, actually, it's not my favorite either. Second favorite, but like it's not the best anime ever. You know, there's stupid plot lines and you know the power scaling doesn't make sense or like plot holes from arc to arc and things like that. Same thing we talked about Bleach last time. Like to me, Bleach has the worst power scaling because it just never like there's no like method to how they do. I mean, I'm sure there is, but like I don't know. They just let this nigga Ichigo win whenever. But like I like it. I enjoy it as a fan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
it's good. It's good as an anime.
I'm looking at Shawny. I'm looking at Shawny while you
I
say.
mean, what do you want me to tell you? He's not wrong. The power scaling is crazy in it. Like I'm listening. I'm absorbing what he's saying, and he's correct.
Tracks.
Yeah, like I
It's not
can
wrong.
criticize stuff that I like at the same time. You know what I mean? Same thing. Say people say like kids today don't have Dragon Ball rated that highly because they've gotten Attack on Titan and
Exactly, generational aspects.
No, yeah, I hear that, but I feel like when it comes to like looking at these movies, you can't critique, like you can't use the same
scale that you would use for.
Yeah, like me and Crispin were talking about this offline. You can't use the scale that you do for Oppenheimer to come and now look at Deadpool in those same eyes. That's unfair to Deadpool because you're always going to think, oh, well, Oppenheimer had peaks and valleys. The acting was amazing compared to the acting in Deadpool or the plot lines or whatever.
Think about award shows, though. There's reasons why people will see, like, even video games, movies, whatever, you'll be like, oh, I really like this game, but oh, there's no way this will get nominated. You know, a fighting game, no matter how good it is never
not gonna get nominated, bro.
Yeah, like that's just unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's not enough. Sorry, there's not enough like of that content to be like its own category either. So it's like,
I mean, fighting games does have to clarify, fighting games, yes, has their own category, but we're saying in the sense that a fighting game, no, a fighting game will never get nominated for the game of the year. It'll always win in its category, but it won't get game of the year. A racing game will probably win like the best racing or possibly best sports game, but it won't get nominated for game of the year.
But again, sorry, go ahead, finish your point.
Reverting back to what you're saying, I understand. Just to play devil's advocate, I understand what you're saying about the scale. It's not fair. Christine's probably changing his camera.
Yeah, I'm still here.
It's not fair to scale Oppenheimer against Deadpool with it. But at the devil's advocate, you have a scale that goes down evenly, and you use it against all the movies. Some movies are gonna knock everything out of the park. Some movies are not gonna do that, and that's fine too, because some movies are not meant to be an Oppenheimer. Sometimes the shit is just meant to be a comedy, and that it is what it is. Just to revert back and just give my thoughts on it. Niggas might hate me, but I don't care. It's my opinion. Like Musa got his opinion. I got opinion. 8.5 is generous. I give it personally a 7.5. And I know that's going to sound crazy, but I actually wrote it down. I was like, I think it was a good, funny Deadpool movie, but it didn't seem like an MCU Deadpool movie. And I say that because being the fact that this is technically the only MCU movie we had coming this year, and it was the most anticipated, I feel like that hype that came with it, and when you watch it, you're like, oh, like this really isn't like MCU Deadpool. This is just like Fox Deadpool, and he has access to all of these other properties that he can make fun of, and he has access to bring in these cameos because now it's all under one umbrella. So the jokes are going to be funnier and, you know, branching out into those properties that you normally wouldn't touch. But at the same time, it's still a Deadpool movie. I feel like it's a Fox Deadpool, except you can use, same thing I said, you can use more MCU characters and whatnot and be able to shit on them as well. It gave me the best way I can compare, the best movie I can compare it to would be Spider-Man No Way Home. I feel like this was more like a movie for the fans. That's the best way I could describe it. Like, it's literally, if you went to go watch No Way Home, you're getting the same exact thing with a Deadpool. And I feel like them kept pushing the whole fact that Deadpool is the MCU Jesus. I don't think he was a Jesus. He didn't really save anything in the MCU to me personally. So the biggest thing for me was like, yo, Hugh Jackman wore the suit. It's not a spoiler. The shit was in the commercials. Hugh Jackman kind of like being in there and them working together and them really like hitting that Wolverine and Deadpool antics. And because they're friends in real life, they're both from Canada, it makes it even more hilarious. I do think the one thing that I push it to 7.5 is that Wolverine just was like a man of very few words. And I know that's normally how he is with Deadpool and whatnot, but I kind of like for them to finally be on screen, I wanted more banter from him in part. Other than that, though, the movie was really good. Like the movie was fucking hilarious. The opening scene was amazing. Like there wasn't a moment where I wasn't laughing. So it did what it had to do. But objectively looking at it in comparison to the other two movies, I don't even run back to go watch the other two Deadpool movies. So this one, I would go back and watch it specifically to watch it again and catch what I missed the first time. Then I would watch it one more time when it comes to Disney Plus with subtitles, because with this movie, bro, you got to pay attention to what the jokes he's saying, because they are like, that's another reason I give it 7.5. The jokes are good, but they're fast, like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, you
don't even get an opportunity to really laugh and absorb that joke before the next one comes flying out.
Gives you another.
And he's just spewing jokes. It was like, it almost kind of feels like, yo, like I got 2 hours to get all the jokes out about Fox as much as possible. And so that's why, again, like I give it a 7.5. It wasn't horrible. It was good. It was hilarious. It did what I expected it to do. But in terms of moving the plot of the MCU forward, not so much.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Ooh, but yeah.
I feel that with the plot thing too, because I can't even.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't get too far into it.
Say shit. Shut up.
So we're just gonna have to
shut up, Musa.
Mute on that, and we're going to run it back now. Heading back to San Diego Comic-Con, the first announcement that came out. Avengers King Dynasty is no more. Now it's going to be Avengers Doomsday. And then you have Secret Wars comes after. And just to confirm, I know Mac Crispin, we were talking about offline. They said that Doomsday would be 2026. And then Secret Wars would be 2027. So my question to you guys is, how do you feel about the news of them saying, yo, Kang is pretty much dead now. It's a dub. And now we're going to bring in Doomsday. Doomsday is equivalent to Doctor Doom. Let's focus more on the fact of how do you feel about them like deading Kang for good, Jonathan Majors, all that good stuff. What comes to mind for you?
To be honest, I was expecting Doctor Doom to come back sooner rather than later, because to me, watching even the animated series and reading some of the comics, I'm not a big comic dude, but reading some of the comics, Doctor Doom, he be doing his shit, you know what I'm saying? And if he want to threat like Thanos and shit, he did some bullshit in the comics. So I think bringing him in, I didn't know nothing about Kane, to be honest. So when they brought Kane, I was just like, who they speak? But then when you speak about a name that people know, at least from my perspective, that people know, it brings more viewers. It's more interesting. And I'm not gonna discard that they might bring Kane back with a different actor down the line, because they already introduced him. You have to bring him back down the line. So I think it was a good move just because of what happened. There's a good pivot. Like, it's good just to change the name of the villain that's coming up in the Avengers movie, and then maybe introducing another Kane in the next Avengers movie or whatever.
Sure. Musa or Macky, your thoughts?
You could go.
All right. So I mean, of course, I have to say this. I think at the time I thought it was messed up on what Disney was doing. What Disney did to Jonathan Majors by dumping him after the verdict came through when he was guilty for 2 out of the 4 counts. Even though I felt like even if he was innocent, they would have still dumped him anyway, just because of how the fans received Kane. Not saying that he is not a phenomenal actor, and he wasn't acting his ass off, and basically saved that Quantumania movie because without him, that movie is garbage. I cannot lie to you, and that's to me the best Ant-Man movie, hands down, just because of him alone. Because the other two I watched, I fell asleep each time I watched it, which is boring. But with that being said, I still think that they would have kicked him off just because of, again, how Kang was received by the fans. They thought that they were going to receive a pop like they did when Thanos was announced, and Quantumania was a bust. And that's the first major movie where Kang was shown to us after what is it called, Loki. So with all of those things coming into fruition, I knew that he was going to get dropped. I just am still upset by it because, you know, Disney, we love their content, but they are, you know, pieces of shit, for lack of a better term. What else? I had another point too.
So while you're thinking of that point, let me challenge you really quick. So given that, given your thoughts, what do you think about Disney's decision in regards to DC with Ezra Miller before James Gunn came on, given all the shit that he had going on? Ezra Miller was the Flash for DC, and he had all the shit going on with him, breaking in, bugging out, X, Y, and Z, and they kept him on until James Gunn came into the picture.
I think it's different, only because of, and again, I'm a man of nuance. Like, I can read a situation and still understand the differences between the two crimes. Like, he was convicted of basically harassing a woman. When you look at the videotape and everything, it didn't seem as if he was really trying to do that. Whereas Ezra Miller was like kidnapping people and going on drunken rants in front of people and forcing them to listen, which is insane. And I mean, if we're going to be, you know, equal everything, if you get caught doing a crime, it defeats the morality clause, because I know that they have that in their contract. So if you do something that makes you look bad in the light, we could drop you, and it doesn't even matter. So I mean, again, I get it. Like, I get it. To them, he did something wrong because the court found him guilty. That's all they needed.
Yep, but again, like I said, you think he was going to get dropped anyway?
Yes, that's my thing. I think he was going to get dropped anyway because
I'm with you because of perception. Because people are going to look at it.
He's my person, but people wasn't really rocking with Kang when it came out. Like, I was enjoying it, but that's because I like Jonathan Majors as an actor.
Before Musa goes, I want to challenge all of you real quick. We know that Thanos, when he was announced, right? Everybody was like hyped up. Oh shit, Thanos. But also, Thanos was name dropped from like hella movies before he was announced, and everybody knew that the Infinity Stones, Thanos, that's a connection. Don't you think that it was more of a preparation thing than the name itself of Thanos? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was more of a setup thing before. Like, they set up Thanos way better than what they only showed him in Loki, the show. And if you don't have Disney Plus, you didn't see that. You just saw this random dude in the Ant-Man movie. Like, who the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Macky said, like, the Ant-Man movies are not like the best movies that you have in the MCU. So you putting the new threat in the Ant-Man movie.
Loki was really big.
Loki was good.
I know.
Loki was good.
Loki was good when it came out.
That's why. No, I'm about to answer your question, and Shawny, I think, is saying the same thing I'm gonna say. Loki, both season 1 and season 2 were good, right? The first one was a good setup for Kang to come in, because even that last episode where he was talking to them and telling them what I think he was saying, like, even if you kill me, another person like me is gonna come and take that was hard, right? It was just going into the movie, the first movie where he showed up, they chose to use one of the not one of the hotter or the more popular MCU heroes that they have created to now introduce
They use
the
a
next big bag.
C-lister.
Yeah, like,
But
and again, all these guys are for the most part are C-listers, but the way they set them, the way they set them up, like Iron Man 1, you would never think that Iron Man is a C-lister coming off a movie like that. But my point is, Ant-Man 1, 2, they didn't really set up Ant-Man to be that guy. So when you try to bring in your next big bad into an Ant-Man movie, again, that's for me. People like rocked with Ant-Man 1. So it was got.
Yeah, I'm gonna just comment on it, not to argue, not to debate, just making this thing comment. It's just two things. One, I don't know who else they would have used, what other movie they would have used to bring him in, because there wasn't a lot of movies coming out that year that they could have really brought him in any other way. And two, Ant-Man was supposed to be the pivot for him to like basically say like, yo, like this is how we're gonna end the movie. This is how now you see, okay, we get rid of one, but now you're gonna see my nigga come back. And I'm assuming what their plan was is to plop him into different parts, and then eventually he leads into it. But I also think the problem was that they banked on him. Well, let me not say that it was a problem, but they banked on him being the next big bag, because when you think about it, Kang's whole thing, he's a time traveler essentially, so he has access to the tech from the future, from the past, and there's always these different variants of him as well. So every one of them is like strong as shit. The motherfucker is like a taskmaster, except I know how to combat all of you because I defeated you at X, Y, and Z point in time. So I know what I know. Like, that shit is fire. He would have been amazing and an amazing villain, especially with like the Council of Kangs. But alas, I'm not gonna knock Disney on that, because nobody would have fucking thought that, oh, we're gonna cast Jonathan Majors, oh, he's with this woman and there's domestic violence being involved in and whatnot, and nobody saw it coming. The only thing that I will, going to my, and I'll just pivot right into my point that Musa go, in my opinion, he fumbled the bag.
He did.
Like that's what that's what I stand on this shit. He fumbled the bag, because at the end of the day, I feel like, because everybody will make the argument, oh, like, this is why he shouldn't have messed with a white woman as a black man. Bro, listen, white, black, Spanish, Asian, Indian, it don't matter. If a woman is crazy, the woman is gonna be crazy.
Right.
If you have to fault him on anything, is that when you see that your career is going up and up and up, and Disney says, hey, we want you to pay the next big bad, you need to reevaluate everybody in your personal circle. And maybe that's an issue of your management team as well, but you need to evaluate everybody in your circle. Because if I don't know how long he was dating that girl, if she was with him on the come up, but from what we were found out with everything going on, they had these domestic issues in the past already.
If you show me this much of a red flag, you out of here.
Exactly. I would tear that flag up and throw it out the window. Yo, you a dub. I gotta move on. I have to move forward, because notice what happened. Once all this shit popped off, he now all of a sudden Megan Good right on his side, holding him down the whole fucking time. He's on his path of redemption now, and I got into arguments about this on Twitter about like he doesn't need to go on the path of redemption. It's like, no, here's the thing. I'm not saying that he needs to do the path of redemption, but
if he has those roles,
those roles again. He's gonna have to start over from fresh, and he has to earn everything back. Do I think he deserves to do all that shit? No, because even what they found him guilty for wasn't nothing crazy. Nothing crazy on technicality. And if anything, it was more so of a, it's like, oh, like, excuse me, man, you tripped and you bumped into me on the way, and that's what I got hit on.
No, that's literally like the reason why they convicted him is because he picked her up and put her in the car so that she can go home. That's why he was convicted. Like, she was saying, don't touch me, from, this is speculation, allegedly. You're not coming here for facts, because we are not a law show, so please.
Yeah, we're not. We're gonna give you
the shit right or wrong. But from what I remember, he picked her up, put her in the car, and they said that was harassment because it was unwanted touching. So
exactly.
Not saying that we should just touch women. That's not what we're saying. But compared to what Ezra Miller was doing, is not. Yeah, it's not even as close. And as someone as big as him, after doing the Creed movie, doing very well in the Creed movie, gets a shot to be in the MCU, which, even though all these fucking critics and all these actors, not actors, directors are talking smack about being in superhero movies, they are still getting some of the top paying actors to do it. So with that being said, people still want to be in superhero movies, especially working for MCU, because they know what comes with that. That it comes up with a bag. And what did you do? You fumbled the bag because you wanted Shorty to be Coretta Scott King.
And he was doomed.
Damn
Musa,
shame.
so give us your thoughts, and we're gonna move on from there.
Yeah. You gotta refresh my memory on the original question because there was a lot of opinions. So I want to make sure.
Basically, the first Avengers movie for the new phase was supposed to be Avengers Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars. But this weekend for San Diego Comic-Con, they changed it, so now it's going to be called Avengers Doomsday, which means that the focus is going to be on Doctor Doom. So the question is, how do you feel about them pivoting away from the Kang Dynasty to Doctor Doom now for the Avengers movie?
Okay, so not specifically talking about Doom and how he is.
Nah, because Doom is good. Okay. Who he is their next topic, but we just want to get on just the initial change.
Yeah. The initial change. So this is kind of the gift and the curse. And I feel like I said this years ago with the whole like building a universe and interconnectivity and all this kind of stuff, is the fact that you got a plan for anything that could happen. And like, to be honest, the MCU was lucky as hell they started this whole multiverse, multiple timeline thing to be even able to pivot like this, or else this would have been a whole disaster. Like the fact that, you got to rely on every movie connecting actors, like this is going to be a little morbid, but they even talk about why they don't want Patrick Stewart in the show, because he 80 some years old. Like, you're not going to have him in, maybe they'll, he made an appearance in Multiverse of Madness or whatever, but like some of these people is old. Some of them, you might get into criminal issues and things like that. And now you got to pivot who the actor is and all this kind of stuff. But as far as them coming out and deciding, I'm not 100% convinced they were going to drop him 100% because they took so long to come to the decision. That could have been politics too. Like, okay,
they didn't come so long to the decision.
I'm saying before he got actually convicted. Like everyone was saying, like, okay, what's going to happen? Are they announcing? And those rumors, they're looking at Damson Idris.
Yeah, but I think that they were waiting for, and I know I'm cutting into your point, but I just wanted to like tackle that part. I think they were waiting for a conviction to happen, and I mean,
waiting for the verdict before they did it.
Or verdict. Yeah, that it just gave
them an out. Yeah,
now to be like, okay, now we know he didn't pop the way we thought he was going to pop. Quantumanium was a bust. He is a convicted felon. Not really, just jokes. Okay,
not really. I don't think he got convicted. To be honest, like,
no. I think it's like a it's a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor.
But yeah, he got convicted. It's dubs now. Plus, again, like I said, morality clause. So
yeah, and I've seen a few people. We'll talk about it next time. But again, comparing them to other actors and people getting second chances and stuff like that, and it's like, number one. Well, if you want to take the Ezra Miller thing, I think that I couldn't. Every time something came out about that guy, anytime something came out about them, I was like, how is this still happening? Especially since The Flash was like delayed for like 5 years. Flash is my favorite superhero. But you gotta look at the difference of where DC was and the DC EU was and the MCU as far as popularity and where the movies were. They were like, bro, we already put money into this. Get this shit out. Get James Gunn in here. Reset the show. What this guy, I keep messing up. What Ezra Miller got going on. Like, we want to get the movie out. People probably not going to see it anyway. Whatever. Tax write-off. I don't know. Whatever. But
tax write-off is crazy.
As far, well, no, because you got to not put it out to get to.
Well, yeah, because they scrapped the Batgirl movie like that.
Batgirl, there was a bunch of other like side stuff that was supposed to happen within the name? Matt Reeves, I think, the Batman like universe, like stuff he wanted to do. He wanted to do like a Detective Gordon show, all this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, like I heard again this is all people speculating, and like I said on the last episode, I'm not deep into like the comic book lore and stuff like that, but apparently even if Kang was still the big bad, like they were probably thinking of incorporating Doctor Doom into it at some point, or Galactus or whoever. I don't know, Galactus might be too big, no pun intended, to just have him as like a side enemy or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. So I think they always had in the back of their mind like other ways they could pivot and things like that. And yeah, maybe it was a political thing, like, wait, okay, once he actually gets the verdict, we can get him out of here. But I think the other problem is I don't know about the build up for him. Like there was less build up for Kang, where it was, even though we knew he was going to be the big bad, they could still break it and, you know, pivot to something else. But then now the opposite is kind of being talked about, okay, now we're going to have an Avengers movie in 2 years, and y'all have been building up with celestial beings and all this other stuff, and now you're going to bring Doctor Doom in it 2 years with, you're cutting back on movies, so that's even less build up you have for the enemy compared to Thanos, which was what, 10 years. So I don't know. As far as how I feel about it personally, it's like it sucks, and I mean it's their company, they can do whatever they want to do. I feel more bad about the fact that it's affecting him in other jobs, like his career as a whole, versus like, yeah, we know the MCU was going to give him a bunch of money, and you know, you could basically live off of that for the rest of your life, off the fame of that. Like, but the fact that he got dropped from like his agency or management, that was, you know, before he even got the verdict of being guilty. Like the fact that you're hearing about all these other movies he was in the works for that are getting canned and things like that. Like it's kind of like what happened with Will Smith, but Will Smith was always cemented, so you knew he was going to bounce back regardless. But yeah, I feel more bad about, you know, what's happened to him for his career, for something that, it wasn't that serious. So I don't care if you like it wasn't that serious, bro. Like I don't know what anybody gonna say. I know you see the headline of guilty or domestic violence or whatever, like there's levels to everything, bro. Ain't about he wasn't sock and bopping her like
he wasn't going fucking.
He was, and Alexa, from what we know, from what he was, I'm not gonna say that we know that he wasn't doing that, but from what they found him guilty for, it wasn't no like, you know, he wasn't like beating her out the shower.
No, he was trying to be a good human, and he just got fucked.
Yeah, there's a little video of him running away.
Now we gotta watch him.
Big ass dude like running away from a blonde.
She actually got arrested. She flew to England to stay there because that's where she's from. And then the DA said, if you come back, we'll drop the charges and bring up charges on him. So she came back. And that's why I say it's messed up. Like, because it's like you got to read context and everything, you know? And for Disney to just drop him off of it, again, I get it. Morality clause. This is something that he signed in his contract. But at the same time, it's like, you know, there's nuance, there's levels to everything. And it's unfair that he's getting his money's getting affected because of, I mean, again, it happens to everybody, though. You know, someone makes a slip up, a mistake that can end them up in jail, and now their life is ruined because even if they get out, nobody gonna try to hire them because nobody wants to hire them.
Let's not be too gloomy to pivot off, because he actually does have roles coming. He does have roles now. Like he is on the path, so he didn't get completely shafted. Yes, he fell down. He just has to start picking himself back up and work his way back up.
Well, he got making good, man.
At San Diego Comic-Con, they had somebody dressed up as Doom that was on stage in Hall H and took off his mask, and it was
It was me.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Bleep me. It was Robert Downey Jr. Mr. RDJ, Mr. Iron Man himself. So before I am Iron Man. I am Crispin. So to kick off our conversation, I'm just gonna read, because John something came up, so John couldn't make it tonight, so I'm gonna read his thoughts, and then we're gonna just give our thoughts based off what John said. So, speaking as John, there's a part of me that wants to see Robert Downey Jr. absolutely crush it at being Doctor Doom, and another part of me that is skeptical about how they will explain the character's existence. If this is a Tony Stark variant, his story has to be really good for us to accept changing a character that is compelling all on his own.
All right.
So,
I have to actual
I'm gonna
answers
let
to the
Musa
question.
go first.
Go ahead, Musa.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, so I texted Ugo before this. I was like, yeah, let me brush up on the highlights because I didn't really watch anything from San Diego Comic Con. But this I saw 100%. Someone texted it to me. It was like, yo, what is going on? But it wasn't like a clip. It was just a picture of a bunch of Doctor Dooms on stage, and then like Robert Downey Jr. like to the side, I guess when he handed someone the mic or something. And I was like, I don't get what is this? Okay, they introduced Doctor Doom. But then I went on Twitter and just saw it everywhere. And I was like, oh snap, that is crazy. So yeah, like you said, it's the double announcement of, okay, we're gonna get Avengers Doomsday, so they're pivoting fully, and we're also seeing who Doctor Doom's gonna be. I kind of agree with John too, and I saw a few people that were of two minds of it. The first part is like, we're excited because we love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and everyone wanted to see him back in some capacity, and there's been, oh, would he come back? But they were thinking it would be like, I don't know, a variant of Iron Man again or something like that. So I think this is kind of like that conversation we had earlier with like the critic versus the personal, like, yeah, the fan wants to see it, but then if you're thinking like critically, the same thing John's saying, it's like, okay, now how are you going to do the character? Are you going to, like, the person that texted me it's like, okay, but now he's like Romanian and all this other, like, there's a whole backstory about the character. It's like, if he's just going to be a Tony Stark variant, it's like, how do you introduce that? Is that going to, I don't want to say ruin the character, because there's always a way to retell a story and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. It was a hype moment, I think. I don't have any like emotional ties to Doctor Doom. So like, whatever. I don't want to hear him having no funny accent though. If he can't do an accent good, just talk normal. Yeah, I think people are excited, but also they want him to do it well. Like, we don't want it to just be like one of those like it's just a hype moment, or like you're trying to win us over just from, you know, throwing Robert Downey Jr. in it. Like, do it well, make it, you know, impactful and good, not just like what people complain about with No Way Home, where you're just throwing cameos in just for, you know, shock value purposes and things like that. So yeah, green's my favorite color, so got that going.
It's like, hey, something good coming out of it.
Yeah. I would.
What you think, Matt?
I think I'm like in the middle as well. I have no real ties, just like Musa, to Doctor Doom. Marvel was never really my thing until recently. So, I mean, I'm not a real fan of any of these characters besides, you know, the main guy, Spider-Man and them. But what I will say is that I do think that Marvel got Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. to play Tony Stark as a way of, one, to make the OG fans come back and watch Tony Stark on the screen again, 2, to make money, and 3, to do as a distraction that we're done with Kane and we're gonna have the Iron Man play Doctor Doom. Now,
wait, sorry, can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. This what I left out when we was talking about the last topic. I said I wanted to wait because I knew we were going to talk about this. But the whole, people are comparing Robert Downey Jr.'s like troubles compared to like Kang, and like, oh, he got a second chance and things like that. To me, first of all, I was kind of young whenever he was wilding.
You know, he was wilding in the streets.
I think like from what I surmised about it was two things. One is like, it's different if it's like a personal thing, like substance abuse and all this kind of stuff, versus another person being involved in it, especially in 2024. Like you're looking at 2004, 2005, whenever he was 2001, compared to 2023, 2024, and you're involving another human being. It just like they're not willing to take those chances. Plus, it's not like he was with Disney when he was doing that, and then Disney just brought him back. Like it's a whole different scenario. So that was
And then just to piggyback on that and give it back to Macky, RDJ, yeah, he went through his shit, but he did the work. He did the work, he proved himself, and he worked his way back up. Unfortunately, no matter how we feel about the Jonathan Majors thing and everything he went through, it's like Macky said, bro, you got a morality clause. You signed that shit when you got the role, and that's what comes with that. And that's not even just you, that goes with all of Hollywood. Now we don't want to get into the whole the disparities with black versus white in Hollywood and getting canceled and all that extra shit, because I mean the whites are getting canceled too. So it's true. But at the end of the day, Majors just need, like, the comparison is not the same. That RDJ shit was like,
sorry, keep going. Sorry.
The RDJ shit was about 20 years ago. The man did the work, worked his way back up. I know he has nepotism on his side, but he still did the work to get himself back to build himself back up with grace. And Jonathan Majors right now is on that journey. He's getting the roles. He's working his way back up, and it's unfortunate, but bro, like, they can't, that's not a suitable excuse to knock what's going on right now. You want to attack the fact that maybe they're doing it to with something that big of an impact that'll make you be okay with him, because you can't just swap Kang out like that and make it like something light. You have to do something big to make it make sense and work. But let me let Macky go, because I'll eventually go.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I do agree with what Crispin said earlier, that at some point they may bring Kang back and just have him as a different character. So this is a variant, because remember, the old one, the one in that movie, he died, right?
Yeah, he died on
Quantumania.
Well, in Quantumania, that one did die, yes, but we also don't know if he did die or if he got sucked into like the realm and shit.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying.
He Who Remains got.
Yes, in Loki.
And Loki.
But what I'm saying is they could just bring him back and say this is a variant of.
Yeah, variant.
That
Like
looks
he de-aged or some shit.
Yeah.
Or changes
his appearance or some shit. So just to give a little context on that, the Robert Downey Jr. was going through addiction issues from
early 90s,
1996 to 2001. He didn't land Iron Man till 2009 or 2008. So yeah, that is a long time. And I'm looking at all the other movies that he did between that time, they were not, you wouldn't remember any of these movies. Like, he did Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Tropic Thunder all in the same year.
Which is crazy, because that's a fucking lot.
It's a lot. No, but there's a lot of fucking movies.
That's a lot of movies, bro. Tropic Thunder was good.
Incredible Hulk was just
a cameo, but making movies is like 6 months process, bro. So they're shooting for like 3 months and everything else.
Sherlock Holmes in 2009, and then in 2010 he did Iron Man. But yeah, my main point is it took a while for him to get the roles, for him to revamp himself as the Robert Downey Jr. that we know today. Because again, I remember vividly during that time, they thought that he was going to die because of the amount of drugs that he was doing. So,
again, that's more of an image thing. Like, if you do drugs on your own, okay. If you quote unquote hitting women, it's like a whole different situation.
That's a whole different.
We all on drugs. Yeah. Not me. I'm saying like
self-harm versus intentional harm.
Yeah. They all do drugs too. They just know how to show up to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I think. Oh, this is another thing I was gonna say, that Tony Stark has actually been Doctor Doom in the comics.
Yeah.
So this is not something that is like new, and he also hates Reed Richards, and we're getting the Fantastic Four movie. So I'm not mad at it. I just think that, again, corporations are going to corporate, businesses are going to business, and this is just a business move, a smart business move, because anything Robert Downey Jr. right now, especially after the Oppenheimer, him winning the Oscar for that, anything he does at this point is gonna, do money in the bank. So I'm not mad. The only reason why I'm mad again is because it's taking away those black jobs.
But it is.
The near tech.
Crispin, your thoughts, please.
I like Robert Downey Jr. He's a great actor. That is my opinion on this situation. Because if he does not remove his mask, nobody gives a fuck. It's literally a different character. And if he has an Iron Man mask and he removes it, we know that happened in the comics, so nobody gonna give a fuck. Now, if he has the Doctor Doom mask and removes it, we see Robert Downey Jr., we're gonna be like, all right, bro, put that shit back on, never take it off. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to see your face, because your face in this universe is Iron Man. Unless you have the silver Iron Man suit and then you go like this and it's you, the evil version of you, cool. I'm cool with it. That's all. I'm cool with it. All I'm saying is set this nigga up, bro. Don't just throw the movie out and then him. No. Put him in the... Obviously, he's going to be in the Fantastic Four movie. He has to be in there. He has to be created there, like, as the villain. Like this nigga came, or they beat him or whatever. He goes somewhere else and gets more powerful, comes back. You know what I'm saying? But in any other movie that's out after Fantastic Four, he has to be like the mastermind of something that's going on. Like you see him sitting down or whatever, he doesn't have to even say anything. He just be like, "Yes, sir," whatever. Somebody like, boom, go get that, do that, boom, 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 boom. So we can be scared of him. Like if you're not scared of him, the same thing that happened with this dude is gonna happen again. It's like this was rushed. You just threw him in here. Now you have to rewrite all your movies, not just this one, just all your movies. Now add him into all the movies. Add him into 2 seconds, 3 seconds in all the movies. And the cut scenes and anything. I need to see him in movies. That's it. That's all I need. I don't care who is the actor. Well, we do care because it's Robert. You know, he nasty with it. But get the shit right. Introduce him in all, not in shows. Fuck the shows, bro. Fuck the shows. In movies. How many movies are coming out from here to when that movie comes out? Like 3 or 4, no?
I think the first one was in the world.
Yeah, we only know
the one we know about.
Fantastic Four, and then what, next year?
What?
That's
not
next
next
year. I
Is
believe.
Yeah.
They didn't say the date, but I believe I literally saw a post that said they started filming today 1 year before it. That's what I.
So if you don't have Fantastic Four,
that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I'm like, if this come out in 2026,
they
we
might have
haven't
to
seen
back.
him yet. It's like
Agatha,
how many movies?
TV shows coming out too.
You say?
I don't care about this.
The Agatha TV shows coming out.
I don't think.
I don't even care about that. That's gonna probably be like an Echo, where it's like its own standalone thing that doesn't
Captain
play
America:
any.
Brave New World, release date February 14th, 2025. So
Yeah, there's not a lot of. That's what I was saying earlier. I'm like, and to Crispin's point about like rushing it, like Kang. Oh man!
You showed him once
again.
and
It's
then
the
you put him
gift
in
and
the
the curse of this whole universe situation. It's like when it works, it works. When it doesn't, you gotta try and make it work. And it's like, are they gonna just force him into certain movies? Are they gonna just like, they're gonna make sense? Like the joint comes out in 2 years, right? And they cutting back on how many movies they plan out every year. So it's like you got even less room to kind of introduce him and stuff. So.
I mean, the only good thing I'll give him is that because we've had all these MCU movies up to this point, the characters are already there and established. So it's not going to be hard to like... Reggie's knocking my camera. It's not going to be hard to pick up a team and make it work and whatnot. My thing that I notice is, again, John makes a good point. How are they going to make the story? Well, it's simple. If Tony's, what I like about this decision is that you're not tainting the Iron Man legacy because technically Tony Stark is not coming back. It is a variant of him. Well, my assumption should be that it'll be a variant of him that will be playing Doctor Doom from another universe, because you have the Secret Wars movie coming out after that, which is when they have the big war with all the universes colliding and fighting for one universe to be the one of them all. That being said, the way I think they should do it is simple. I think what's going to end up happening is Tom Holland is going to be the focal point of the Avengers movie, and they're going to play on the fact that the villain that they need to stop from another universe is your mentor, your teacher, your father figure.
Twice.
And they're gonna, in that nigga, exactly, they're going to really play on the heartstrings with that. I can see it coming. In terms of the comics, yes, there's a comic where Doctor Doom becomes Iron Man.
Something to say. My fault.
Oh, hold on. Let him finish because
my bad.
Yeah, I'm just gonna land. There has been a comic when Iron Man has become Doctor Doom, and then there's been a comic where Doctor Doom becomes Iron Man. MCU has the liberty to play around with it, and the fucking Russo brothers are coming back to direct that shit.
Yeah, they're gonna do.
And not for nothing, in the Russos I trust.
They don't miss.
They don't miss.
I got some things. I looked up the lineup, right? So. In Captain America: Brave New World, I need to see it in a cutscene. I don't need to see it in the movie. Put it in the cutscene. You know what I'm saying? Put it at the end of the cutscene. Put him in there. That's the first movie that comes out after the Deadpool one. That's the first movie that comes out. Then after that is Daredevil: Born Again. I need to see him in the movie.
That's not confirmed yet. It's not.
It's in Disney Plus. My fault. That's in Disney Plus. My bad.
Yeah, but it's not. None of that is confirmed yet. The only thing they have
dates. This one.
No, that's dates. What I'm saying. That what you're reading was something that they had put out before, but that was before the Jonathan Major stuff. Now with the Jonathan Major stuff happening,
all of that
and getting hit with a lot of backlash for the amount of shows that they were putting out, they've slowed it down, because I know a couple of other things were supposed to come out this year. That's not Thunderbolts is still. I've heard that one is still in production.
It's supposed to come out this year,
but it was supposed to come out this year.
Push it back.
May 2nd, 2025.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's gonna come out next year, because they're trying to slow down with how many things. Again, who knows? But the only things that are confirmed is the Agatha movie, the Agatha show, the Brave New World, Captain America, and then the 2 Avenger movies. So only 4 pieces of content from Marvel.
Yeah, they need to throw all that bitches out. Not
keep
the show.
In mind,
Fantastic
Four is coming.
Fantastic Four, because you got Pedro.
Oh yeah, and Fantastic Four. I forgot about that.
Their Doom is their main guy, but I think they're going to focus on Galactus first. So we all know we're expected to see Doom there in some way, shape, or form. And the last thing I'll say to this, because we have to head out soon, is simple. Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Doctor Doom. But that does not mean he's going to play the MCU 616 universe Doctor Doom. He clearly cannot, because Tony is the RDJ is Tony, and Tony is dead in our current universe. So clearly he's going to have to be from another universe, which means we could get another Doctor Doom that is the 616 Doctor Doom.
All I'm saying is,
it's gonna be like a Dragon Ball GT situation with 2 17s together.
Like that Dr. Doom can come over and
Dr. Jiro and Dr. Miu or whatever his name is.
Okay, let me just say something. I know these are not confirmed, but for me, if I'm the MCU, if I'm a Marvel, if I'm Disney, right? I'm doing the Captain America movie. I'm doing the Thunderbolts movie. This is just movies, right? And then I'm doing Fantastic Four. And in those 3 movies, you plant the seed for the Avengers movie. See what I'm saying? Because if you don't do that, if you just do Fantastic Four, like Captain America, Fantastic Four, and then boom, people are gonna be like, the fuck? Like people like Musa that don't know about Doctor Doom like that. or don't care about Doctor Doom, they're gonna be like, okay.
Man, I heard he's tough. He was okay.
You see, but you see the energy. Like I heard he's tough.
Joint.
I mean, keep in mind the movie is called Doomsday. That might be the movie that brings him 100% in. Yeah. Like not 100%, but you can start him in Fantastic Four, and then you can flesh him out fully in Thing. In Doomsday, kind of like what we did with Thanos, because we didn't see a lot about Thanos before he came in.
No, yeah, we didn't see. He may also be in the Secret Wars movie as well, because Doomsday.
Secret Wars is after Doomsday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can also be in that one, so he could be in both of those movies.
But this is not.
No, it's confirmed. He is in both.
Oh, right, he is right.
That's
He's
not
in
what
both.
I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
So they can flesh. I hear what you're saying. You're saying that they should flesh them out in each of those movies.
It's not flesh him out. I don't need to know about him. I don't need to know his story.
He wants like a
we knew about
like
Thanos
reveal
because of things that we know about Thanos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the Infinity Stones.
The Infinity Stones. We know Thanos has that. So if they're introducing Infinity Stones, we are expecting to get to Thanos. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just moves that are happening that when Thanos was introduced, we were like, yeah, we were expecting this shit. We were waiting for this moment.
We saw him at like the end of the first Avengers. Obviously, Loki got the
he was just there,
Tesseract or whatever, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 1. They mentioned him by name. So yeah, I get what you're saying. They gotta plant the Easter eggs in different ways, and then.
But that's why. But and I hear you, and that's why I'm saying that is what more than likely is going to happen in Fantastic Four. They're going because Fantastic
that would be
Four
the movie to do it.
Is a movie where they've already said that this movie is going to be in a futuristic 60s like universe that is that is not 616. So the Fantastic Four that we are seeing in this movie is not going to be in the MCU Earth. Like it's not the same universe. So this is how they can flesh him out, because their biggest enemy is Doctor Doom. That would be the perfect way to bring him out, and then the next year by 2026 Doomsday, and now we can have a full Doom movie. I hear what you're saying, right? They had a lot more to work with when it came to Thanos because of how like integral Thanos was into that particular story that they were building. With Doom, they don't
need it as much.
They may not need as much as they did for Thanos. Because I don't even think that Thanos was really going to be the big bad until
the Avengers movie.
The first Avengers movie.
I think what you're trying to basically say is that there was a lot more movies that they had a lot of movies and a lot of time to the setup.
More intricate than just, Doomsday, boom, Fantastic Four, Doomsday. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just
not for nothing. They might have learned from the Kang situation to not have 8,000 movies.
Yes. They might just say, hey, we're going to start him off in Fantastic Four, and if what Macky's saying is true and it takes place in a different universe, you got the Fantastic Four here, and then you got the Robert Downey Jr. Doom in that same universe. They do some shit, experimentation, boom, boom, boom. Their timeline collapses, they get sucked into the MCU. Now they're in 616, and now they coexist there, and that kicks off Doomsday. I think both things can be true. Like, I agree with Crispin. There needs to be a setup, because this seems more like we're just going to announce it to give it to you to fix the Kang situation. But the problem with this is that it sounds like you're going to make him the focal point of everything, and we need something soon, especially based on the timeline you're giving us. If you're telling us that we're getting the Avengers movie in 2026, then you have literally only next year, unless let's just say you decide the Avengers movie is going to be like a fall release, and that gives you a little bit extra leeway.
They normally do it like summertime blockbuster, right?
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. It depends on how it goes, because they could switch it up. Right now, all we have is
some shit.
They I would think they need they need 3 movies next. Well, we know Fantastic Four.
There's 3.
Fantastic Four either has to be next year or the beginning early 2026.
to lead right into.
Exactly.
To lead right into it.
It might be like
a
movies, not a prequel, but
like we know the Captain America
right into it.
Yeah, we know the Captain America one is gonna happen, right?
Yeah, that's guaranteed.
Yeah. We get a cutscene at the end of the movie, literally a cutscene. We don't need to see him in the movie. I just need a cutscene that introduces this character.
Just of his cape or something.
You put have him saying some bullshit like, I can't believe these 4 guys, whatever, these 4 people are giving me these problems or whatever. Boom. We know he's talking about the Fantastic Four. We already know he's talking about the Fantastic Four. So you're setting up 2 movies, the Doomsday and Fantastic Four. We set up both movies. Boom. The next movie with the bolts or whatever, the charge bolts or whatever, you introduce one of the characters from Fantastic Four, and you don't even put him in a suit. You just introduce him.
No, you gotta put them in the suit because we know who the fuck they are.
but that's the point. You don't have to know who they are. Like they have a conversation and they'll say their name. Like we'll know them by name. You'll say their name, old doctor, whatever, and you're like, oh shit, that's this nigga. But then get him out of here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think the only
I just think that would be. But I don't know. I'm not a
writer. Or podcast.
The nigga that owns that shit. I'm just talking
last
about
point before
bullshit.
we go. I think personally that I would have rather them kept the secret about Robert Downey Jr. being Doom closer to the release of the movies.
They couldn't because they had to build the hype and clean up the Jonathan Majors thing.
I understand. I'm just saying, for me personally,
I wish they would have.
If they would have held on to that until like the Captain America movie comes out, and then that cameo is him as Doom, bro. You're not gonna tell me this.
That would have been dope. That would have been dope.
The last thing, I'm done after this is simple. If what you're saying is true about the Fantastic Four taking place in a different universe than the 616, it's gonna be really fucking okay. Again, for the sake of conversation. If it's true and confirmed, because they switch the shit up every now and then. So as of right now, it's gonna be hard to cameo them if they take place in a different timeline. True. And the current movie does not involve any multiversal shit. Like Brave New World, they already said it. They're trying to go back to the basics with a Winter Soldier style movie where it's a more grounded, not realistic, but more grounded, non-alien, non-multiversal movie. You know, so that's the problem. I like what Crispin is saying in the sense that we want to get this, we want them to line it up and introduce Doom slowly but surely. But at this point, based on what we're seeing, we don't even know what other movies is lined up next year. So at this point, we have to rely on the fact that Doom is going to get introduced in Fantastic Four, and that's just going to be right before the Avengers movie. And unfortunately, what it sounds like to me, my final thought is that with all this news, the Fantastic Four movie has to be a fucking hit.
It has to go crazy.
It has to go crazy.
And they missed twice with that bitch.
They gotta hit. It gotta be a hit. And it's gotta be in. That's all I have. It has to be a hit.
Facts. And if y'all don't like what we said, leave it in the comments. All right, bye.
We'll catch you next time. Appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit. You feel me? Shout outs to Musa for coming over again. You feel me? Hanging out with the NBN boys, man. We appreciate you, my guy.
What's going on, people? It's your boy mackyomo. And you made it to the end of this video. We appreciate and love every single one of you nerds that have come, watched, and now you have conquered. Okay? If you want to follow us, you can subscribe to the YouTube at Nerdy by Nature TV. That's Nerdy by Nature TV. You can also listen to the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That's Nerdy by Nature Podcast, the Nerdy by Nature Podcast. And guess what? We're also on social media. You can follow us anywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Nerdy by Nature TV. That's at Nerdy by Nature TV. And if you don't follow us, why I oughta. I'll see you there. Peace.